Going back to when you were trying to get an agent and you finally get an agent and you're excited because you had Gary Coleman's agent or something.
Yeah,
And
Mark Randall. Yeah.
you said in the book, the agent says, you want to meet Gary Coleman? And you're like, fuck yeah, sure. Why not? I want to meet anyone who
Yeah.
has a career. And Gary Coleman was one of the biggest stars in the world,
Oh,
you know.
yes.
And you go to the meeting and he's coming on to you and he invites you up to his hotel room, his beautiful penthouse hotel room, because he's Gary Coleman. He has a lot of money. And you're not even thinking that he's interested in you sexually.
And I was a virgin, so I wasn't even thinking about that.
Right. So you were like, isn't this nice? Gary Coleman wants me to come up to his room. You were completely naive about it, right?
Oh, yeah. He held my hand, and I was like, he's so cute. And he had a suit on, and he told me that I reminded him of Kimberly from Different Strokes. And I was like, yes! Oh, my God, if I could only be on Different Strokes, you know?
Right.
Yeah. And Mark came up with us, too, and they had the presidential suite. And then we went into the room, and then Mark disappeared.
Oh, they had a whole move. Mark disappears from the room, leaves you alone with Gary Coleman.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so dark. It is such a dark story.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there on the bed with him, right? And
I think he was like, sit down. Like, it was very sweet. Like, so, and then he's like, could you like tickling me a little and this and that? And I was like, stop. You know, like I was trying to be polite and stuff. I'm a polite Catholic girl and a virgin. Yes. So I'm not even I'm naive about anything about that.
But Gary Coleman started to get really aggressive with you, and you say he grabbed your ankles and started holding onto your ankles and then was bouncing on the bed trying to land on top of you.
Yes.
And I can't even imagine that story. I mean,
he
that's
was
relentless.
I was like, then he was like trying to kiss me and get on top of me. I was like, no, Gary, stop. So I push him off. Then I would get off the bed. Then he would bounce on the bed, jump, 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 and wrap himself around me. Then I would like fling him off. And then he would
fling him off.
Yeah. And then he got on top of me and was trying to, you know, I was like, Gary, stop. But I guess because of his size, I didn't feel physically threatened. But then, I finally it was going on and on, repeating. I would throw him off. He would get back on, throw him off. And his dialysis machine was in the room. And then finally I throw him off. I was like, then I'm really getting out of breath because it was like athletic and aerobic. It was really...
And he was what, about 4 feet tall, and he probably weighed what, 50 pounds, 60, I don't know, 75 pounds. So I mean, you're throwing around 75 pounds. It's you know, it's hard. I mean, it's difficult.
So then I finally get him off, and then I go to the bathroom, and then he grabs onto my leg, and I was like, I like kick him off like that. Yeah. And then I go lock myself in the bathroom like this, and then he sticks his hands under the door and he's like, I can see you. Oh
no, I love the quote in your book. You go, I can see you, silly Billy.
Silly Billy.
Which it sounds like a cartoon, actually. But so how did you get out of the room? When you left the bathroom, did you just like run out the door?
I just kind of sprinted out. I think I was probably very polite. And then I saw Mark Randall and I was like, you got to watch that client of yours. So I wish I could have stood up for myself more, but I think, I did it. That's all I said.
But really, it's not funny. I mean, the agent leaving the room and leaving you alone, you know, the whole thing is just so fucked up, and it's also sad.
Yeah.